emergency exits are here, there, and there. You just push the curtains, and then there's a door. It's amazing. Couple things. If you like what you see tonight, we will be performing a big fat musical in the auditorium. In March, we're doing Les Miserables, which is huge. We're gonna have a spinning stage and everything, so it's gonna be awesome. And you're gonna like what you see tonight, so you're gonna wanna go see Les Mis. Other things, and if you're a student and you like what you see, you can audition in a couple of weeks, so come find me. Anything else I need to say? It's a great show. It's an hour long, you're gonna love it, and yeah, have a good time.
Over here.
What are you doing?
This is where she sat.
This is morbid, Papa.
One of the fastest girls on the floor. The other girls threw her a little party. 30 to 40 girls on the floor.
Grace, over here.
And me. Watching over them.
You shouldn't be here. It's really meant for them.
And that business with the brushes, that wasn't my idea. It was Von Sachaki, his invention.
It was years ago, Papa.
People blame me for that, but I wasn't the technical man. I had my shareholders. Gentlemen, we stand here today at the threshold of a new era. An era of ingenuity, an era of possibility, marked by the marriage of commerce and science. Radium, my friends, is the fruit of that marriage. And like the automobile before it, like the telephone and the telegraph, this miracle element began as just a novelty and is now a necessity of daily life. Luminous watches, luminous dials, these were agents of victory in Europe. Now, radium is about to become the agent of a new victory, the coming victory over cancer.
Arthur, what a day.
Dan, what did I tell you? They love us.
Did you see Von Sachaki? Where is she?
He's here.
Back of the hall.
I'm surprised he had the nerve.
Oh, hold on, boys. Miss Wiley, what a nice surprise. Charlie, Dan, you remember Miss Wiley of the Consumers League?
Miss Wiley, no more complaints, I hope, from the housewives in Orange.
The laundry's fine. Thank you, Dr.
Ought have to be. We spent a lot of money on those filters.
The fact is, I'm here in that other matter.
Your letter. Now is not the best time, Miss Wiley.
Well, I was hoping you might answer the immediate question.
I'll answer it. There's no white phosphorus anywhere in the paints, Miss Wiley.
But the young lady's
There's
condition.
no white phosphorus anywhere in the property.
Then how do you explain the bone decay in her jaw?
This is one of our girls we're talking about?
Former employee left us about 2 years ago.
Why don't you talk to her current employer then?
She's not working currently. She's too ill.
I'm sorry to hear it, but let me assure you, we are taking your concerns very seriously.
We're consulting with the Harvard Medical School of Industrial Medicine.
You mean Dr. Drinker?
You know him?
Fairly well. The chair of our league is a colleague of his.
Then we can agree. Whatever Dr. Bricker concludes, you'll be satisfied?
I expect so. Thank you, Mr. Oder. Gentlemen.
Have some cake, Miss Wiley.
Whatever the trouble is, it can't be anything at the plant.
We'll handle it. Meanwhile, you just keep smiling, Charlie.
You should have seen it, Grace. The whole church was filled with flowers. Lilies and carnations and orchids. You know how Amelia loved these things. Orchids. Flags. They were orchids. I know an orchid when I see one, I mean. Purple orchids. Oh, and that smell, Grace, was that smell. It was like flowers? Like heaven. I was gonna say, like heaven.
Like heaven, Catherine, it was just a funeral. Make it out like it was some kind of Valentino picture.
It was not just a funeral, it was Amelia's. And it was beautiful. The church was like the botanical garden. The company sent flowers too, a big spray of carnations.
Sounds like a nice service anyhow.
I'm surprised you weren't there, Grace. What happened? Tom took you out late to the pictures?
Wasn't near that exciting. Mom had to work, so I took the kids to the park.
Girls, the whistle's already gone. Now then, I've received new instructions this day. We're going back to the old way of putting the brushes. We was using too much paint and cloth. But
Bonchitaki told us not to do that. Said it was unsanitary.
Unsanitary? I hardly believe you'd say something like that. The man invented the paint. And you're not to be sharing brushes. Each girl is to get her own brush, and you're not to get a new one until it's so bad you can't make a point no more.
How can you make a quota like that?
It's not for us to be asking questions, is it, girls? It's for us to do the work.
It's not for us to be asking questions.
Here's some instruction for you. Let's start your coursing.
What's she have to service?
Menu? You kidding?
Dr. Bonchitaki was though, and Mr. Roeder. Oh, and Grace, who's that fella from Crystallized and the one with the bright red hair?
The tall one with the freckles?
Jerry.
I think it's George.
It's Jerry Malone. He's the one always talking to Amelia in the band room.
Grace, when the match is over, he goes over to the coffin and like this he goes, really? Really?
So what if he did?
So what? He was in love with her, that's so what? Don't you think so, Grace?
I guess he had to be if he did that.
And can you imagine if he loved her and was so shy he could never say anything? Because she was so beautiful and he was so reserved. Now she's dead and he'll never get the chance.
Poor Amelia.
Poor Amelia.
Poor kid.
Her family took it awful bad, Grace. Even her father, all just bawling like babies.
And you know why?
Because their daughter died.
What she died from.
Don't go spread the story.
Not a story your sister told us. No reason Grace shouldn't know.
No what? Really? Amelia?
Her father's fit to be tied too. 6 girls at home, none of them ever gonna dance again, all because Amelia up and died from syphilis. Shut up. Can't help it, that's what she died from. Guess she died around hardly knew.
Girls, your attention please. The gentleman here make an announcement.
And to explain some changes, yes?
Yes, as you may have heard, Dr. Bonchitaki is stepping down as company president, and he would like to take this opportunity.
To make with goodbye, ladies, some of you have known since you left the girls coming here during the war to work. 200, 300, maybe 500 a day.
Thank you, doctor.
Yes, thank you, doctor. Now, girls, as the doctor is a very busy man, let us wish him luck on his newest business ventures.
And let us good luck wish you to you also, Mr. Rodier, with the new direction you intend the company to take.
New direction?
With the slowdown in dial painting
Now, doctor,
and business moving to the medical market. Lots of changes, yes?
what the doctor is referring to, some of our larger customers are setting up their own dial painting studios.
Which means less work for our girls here.
In the short run, however, the Waterbury Clock Company is seeking some help. We were hoping to make this announcement next week. We'll make it now. Ms. McNeil?
We'll be asking some of you girls to go on up there. Catherine Schwab is one, and Louise Conlon. I have the list downstairs.
We'll post it today. Now, girls, as we are all on the clock, we'll leave you to your work.
Thank you, ladies. My best wishes to you.
That's back to work with you girls.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna take the job?
I will if you do.
Mom, you would understand.
Oh, come on, just for a few months. It'll be fun. Won't it be fun, Irene? Irene?
Irene, honey, you alright? Sure, Mark. Why wouldn't I be?
Your mouth is bleeding.
$35 a week and she up and quits the place.
More to life than money.
Oh, way too good to be my age with a house full of kids. You'll thank God for every penny you will find.
We got money to put by.
Oh yeah? How much?
Enough to get married on.
Don't take much to get married on. Do you have enough to stay married on?
Let us get married. We'll find out.
You still eating coffee?
Nope.
Gonna get fat.
Gotta keep his strength up. He works hard for his money.
Don't start, Mom.
I didn't say nothing. Was your father hit the roof over it? Most girls give their eye teeth for a job like that.
Mom.
Good money, easy work, lots of nice looking fellows around the plant.
You didn't tell me about the grades.
And up quits the place. I'm tired of it, she says. Are you tired of a paycheck, I says. I don't need a paycheck, she says. I got me a boyfriend to take care of his vanity.
She said that?
And you know I didn't. And for your information, I got a job. I started the bank on Monday.
How much does it pay?
Enough.
Enough. You know what that means, Tom. Don't come close to what they paid at the Radium plant.
Office work.
Office work. Suppose that means we'd be spending more money on clothes.
Boy, she steamed at you.
I don't see what difference it's made, so long as I'm working somewhere.
Don't make no difference to me. I just thought you liked it up there.
Sure, I liked it, but it's been 4 years up there.
So, I've been delivering mail for 8 years, and I plan to keep on delivering mail another 20 or 30 years, if I'm lucky. Steady work, Grace. Helps you sleep at night.
Close your eyes.
What for?
I have a surprise for you. Close your eyes.
You want for me to pull the shades?
Not that kind of surprise. Okay, open.
Wallpaper.
For the baby's room.
Baby's room. You won't kiss me and you're talking about babies.
It's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, sure, but you know, Grace, most girls get married before they decorate the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
That one.
Really?
The other one, then?
This one's nice, don't you think?
That one?
But I want you to like it too.
If you like it, I'll like it. Wallpaper's wallpaper.
No, it's not. You gotta pick something you can stand to look at for at least 20 years.
Same way you pick women?
Keep it up, smarty pants. You ain't never getting that kiss.
Okay, fine. This one, hands down.
I like it. A nice neutral yellow. Goes with a boy or a girl's room. Till the baby comes, so you could use the room for other things.
Yeah, like what?
Like a painting studio, maybe.
A painting studio, maybe? Didn't you get enough of painting at the Radium plant?
Not the kind I wanted to do, Tommy. Sometimes I just want some time myself to do watercolors or oils, maybe portraits in oil. I can paint yours if you like.
Why not? Paint a big picture of me and it'll hang in the outhouse. All our friends will come around just as they can, so they can look at it.
The way you talk sometimes.
Grace, you want to paint pictures, paint pictures. I ain't gonna stop you.
You say that now, Tommy, but wait till you're working one night, one Christmas maybe, when every customer on your route has 3 times the mail. Maybe some dog took after you. Maybe some old lady on her porch kept talking about her grandchildren, and you didn't have the heart to tell her, I can't talk right now. I know you. So you come home all cranky and tired, and there I am in the kitchen, with my easel set up, my paints on the table, and your dinner nowhere in sight. What would you say then?
Better be a picture of me you're painting.
I know what you'd say. Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner?
Well, sure, but I still admire the painting. Just want to look at it on a full stomach is all. So, how'd I do? Pick the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go look at stripes.
Stripes, polka dots, I don't care anymore. Tell your mom we ain't waiting no more. We'll just run off.
Tommy, we're not running off. We're gonna do this right. A nice church wedding at Seashore, and then it will move into our own place. It'll be worth the wait. I promise.
Your mouth hurt yet?
Dentist wants me to pull another tooth in the back.
What's a tooth?
Harriet, you come down from that tree right now.
I'm waiting for Papa.
When he gets here, I'll send him up after you.
Harriet!
Papa, I can see clear to the church.
Oh, can you see your grandfather?
You think this is funny?
Oh, she's 9 years old, Diane.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Well, time is on your side. Soon enough, she'll lose all interest in trees. Develop a fascination with boys.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says on the bottle.
Is it pure?
Where's the flyer? You want to try it?
If it'll give me vitality, how could I refuse? Your father came out to see me yesterday.
Another hard luck case.
4 children at home, all under the age of 6.
And the husband has been laid off from, let's see, the brickyard.
How did you know?
He came by to see me yesterday. It's never enough for him to just have ordinary ambitions. You have to have a mission in life.
And you do?
Well, Well, I can't hand out jobs that don't exist.
What about Dan then?
Dan?
Couldn't you use some assistance in the laboratory?
No, Dan needs trade technicians, not some bricklayer.
There must be something you can do.
I can get my checkbook.
Artie, the man needs a job, not charity. What is it your father says? A working man needs to work. It wears on his
Wears
soul.
on his soul not to work. Alright, if it's a matter of his soul, that's different. I'll talk to Dan.
You're a good man, Artie.
Well, you do love being married to the company president.
It has its advantages.
I make no promises, Diane.
No promises.
To your health.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything under shop.
It's Rudolph.
Rudolph?
The girl I'm asking after, it's Irene Rudolph, my cousin.
Did she file the complaint?
No, the dentist did.
Dr. Neff?
He said she might have Fossey jaw like they got in the match factories, and he was gonna complain to the health department, but it's been 6 months and he still hasn't heard.
Fossey jaw, you say?
Catherine, maybe it's like the doctor said. Maybe it's just a blood infection.
What was it from? From dirt. You get infections from dirt.
From dirt? Her face puffy like a pumpkin. Her jaw rotted so bad she couldn't eat no more. If you think you get that from dirt, you get it from phosphorus.
Phosphorus.
You go ahead and laugh. You won't laugh so hard 6 months from now when it's you in here asking after Grace.
It's just a toothache, Catherine.
That's how it started for Irene. You wait, Grace, so you'll be so weak and sick you can't stand up. Your gum's so swollen you can't open your mouth.
Stop it, Catherine.
Your face so swollen you can't stand the sight of yourself.
I said stop it.
Yeah, a toothache and a backache. And what else was it you said, Grace? A sore leg that won't quit?
What sore leg?
From my new job at the bank, standing all day.
It's not from the bank and you know it.
Irene Rudolph?
Yes.
Nothing.
What?
The company's in full compliance with all state health and labor regulations. See for yourself.
Paint is a harmless compound of radium and zinc?
They also screened a number of the employees. The blood work is all normal. There's a copy of the report right there. Covered study.
Okay, let's get some lunch.
I want to file another complaint.
Oh, brother.
Catherine, these folks are awfully busy.
3 surgeries, Grace, and they wanted to cut her again. She knew. What was left of her jaw rotted so bad, I couldn't even look at her. Irene was so afraid of being alone, but I left her alone. She died in the middle of the night and nobody was with her. I left her alone!
I'm sorry. Can we have another form, please?
Is the girl still sick?
She died.
Wait right here.
Dr. Flynn, it's awfully nice of you to see me.
Not at all, my dear. Not at all.
I told the surgeon I was coming by, so he gave you the results of my blood work.
Ah, I see. I must say, Miss Fryer, your blood looks better than mine.
It does?
Fast shopping to old man who smokes. Now tell me, what else is troubling you?
My feet and my back mostly. I've had to wear back brace for about 6 months now.
I see. Is right before you left the company or after?
After.
And you left the plant when?
2 years ago now, my dentist, Dr. Neff, he says this all has to do with the radium. I know a girl who died from it, Irene Rudolph.
Rudolph. Oh yes, terrible thing. Vincent's angina. That's an ulcerative condition of the mouth, my dear.
From the radium.
No. Unfortunate and rare result, poor dental care. So let there be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth.
There was something else about this in the paper? Other girls who got sick?
Miss Fryer, don't tell me to pay any attention to newspapers.
But
Those stories are not scientific. No. You must listen to science and ignore all the nonsense in the newspapers. Because I can tell you right now, radium has nothing to do with what's ailing you.
then what's ailing me?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer. Poor diet. Boy has a vitamin deficiency.
But Dr. Neff said,
You must eat more fresh fruit.
Hard to do in the winter.
And raw meat as well. That'll help the anemia. Rock acid particularly. No. I'm a scientist, Miss Frye. I take a purely scientific interest in your case. By allowing me to examine you, you help me to further advance my studies. I thank you.
All
Call me
right.
anytime, day or night.
Thank you, Dr. Flynn.
Happy to help, my dear.
Dr. Frederick Flynn, PhD, Medical University. PhD? That's not a real doctor.
And my name's Mr.
He's seen half a dozen girls so far. Word on the street is that he's working for the company.
An objective evaluation, I trust?
This restaurant has no bearings on my research.
And I let that fella examine me.
It's not a medical examination. No, they consulted with me.
How are you doing on the rest of the report?
The animal studies I conducted revealed no respect from the radium. The problem, I suspect, is personal hygiene.
It's just like you said, Catherine. These folks will do anything. They'll say anything.
Except for the right thing.
We're gonna make them pay. We're gonna make sure someone hears about this.
Let's see what the fees and expenses.
Oh, Mr. Lee will value check.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have to accept injustice. We can use our powers as consumers to influence the practices of those who wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you.
Miss Friday? I'm Grace Ryan. The health department said you might be able to help me.
My goodness, yes, Miss Fry, I've been meaning to call you. Please, sit down.
Me and my friend Catherine, we wrote the company a while ago, but we never heard back. So we went to see a couple lawyers.
But they all said it's too late.
Something about the law won't allow it.
The statute of limitations is 2 years.
One lawyer, he said he wanted $1,000 straight up. I already spent every penny from our wedding on doctors, dentists, and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong with me. Tom here says he doesn't care,
We just need to settle our debts.
so we can get on with things.
So if we could get in some compensation.
Do you think we could?
Tell me, Miss Fryer, just how far are you willing to go with this?
Ma'am?
Suppose I do find you a lawyer, and the company says, all right, here's some money. Only you are to tell no one what we've agreed to.
A confidential settlement.
That don't seem right.
It isn't right, but that's what they'll do. They'll try to buy your silence. Is it for sale?
No, ma'am.
Miss Fryer, if you would be willing to put your needs aside, for the moment, we could stop this company dead in its tracks.
How?
Hit them where it matters most, their public image. When every newspaper in America hears your story, how you were sorely treated, how you suffered, how the company denied all responsibility, believe me, Miss Fryer, Arthur Roeder will come to the table with his hat in his hands.
Then I'd get my compensation.
I know it's a little frightening.
Yes. But right now I'm more angry than scared.
Good, you hold on to the anger. Only be sure no one else sees it.
Ma'am?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That's our strongest weapon. And the public doesn't have much sympathy for an angry woman.
December 4th, 1927, Jack Young, reporter for the New York Legend, New York's first source for news.
Nancy Jean Holland for the New York Graphic. The New York Graphic's only go reporter.
On the strange case of the Radium girls.
Who claim that they're poisoned at the hands of their employer.
Ask me. So, Sham.
What do you mean? They're still very sick.
Sick of working, sure.
Doctors say the Radium girls only have a year to live.
Only 1 year to live and 250 grand to spend.
What would you do with that kind of money?
What would you do with $250,000?
I'd buy a wardrobe like I had a castle and give it all to charity.
I put the stock market.
I'd buy myself a diamond the size of New Hampshire.
And I'd use it to pay my medical bills. And the second mortgage on our house. The one my father took out to pay for my last operation.
Pretty Grace Fryer sits at home.
Suffering bravely through this entire ordeal.
It hurts to smile, but I have to smile. I know if I don't smile, I'll go crazy.
But it must get to you sometimes.
Knowing what you've been through, in the company getting shot off your labor.
And all I have to say about it is
No comment.
I'd rather just think about how it's gonna be when justice prevails.
what a fine example of womanhood. You can only aspire to bear our cross in life as nobly as this young girl.
I've been in this game a long time, and I know when a lawyer tries his case in the newspapers, he doesn't have much of a case.
What's your proposal, Mr. Markley?
$1,500 for each girl.
That's not even a year's worth of wages.
We think it's very generous, considering your case won't survive the statute of limitations.
We believe the court will find that it does.
The court can't rewrite the law. 2 years from the date of injury. Your clients are out of time.
2 years from the date of the cause of the injury is discovered.
Very creative, Mr. Barry. I admire your imagination, but you have a long way to go before you convince the judge.
In the meantime, Mr. Markley, the press will continue to take great interest in this case, and they use Radium Corporation's complete indifference to its workers.
More good press for the Consumers League, and you accuse us of exploiting these girls.
The arrogance of that man.
Tell me again the purpose of these articles, Miss Wiley.
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry, that's the engine of reform.
How's it going to help the girls to read in a dozen different newspapers that they only have a year to live?
Clearly, you can see the company cares nothing about the girls it poisoned. But the average housewife cares very much. These women shop, they buy watches. Mr. Roeder can be as smart as he wants, but the Consumers League is working, and he knows it. That's why he was here today.
I hope you're right, Miss Wiley.
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry. Wait and see.
Dear Miss, what is it? True. I read of your sad story in the Boston Globe, and I'm sorry for your plight. I would like to share with you girls the key to my orchid health at the age of 92. Christian Science.
Dear Miss Fryer, I've read of your woeful situation in the Atlantic Constitution, and I have a solution. Venacine, a wonder tonic made from all natural ingredients. We want to offer you a lifetime supply of Venacine in exchange for exclusive rights to use your photos in our advertisements.
Dear girl, I read about you in the Milling Gazette. I run 100 head of cattle up here, and I do very well for myself. I have always longed for a companion, and I am well prepared to offer you a nice home in your final hours. Surely you deserve a few fleeting hours of happiness. Sincerely, your admirer, Leonard F. Watkins. P.S. Encloses my picture.
You okay?
I'm bleeding again.
Maybe we should go. You need your rest.
I'm afraid to sleep. I might not wake up.
Catherine, look at this mail. Miss Wiley said folks will be on our side, and sure, she was right.
Grace, what if we don't win?
What's no way?
What if we don't? You and Tommy won't never get married and we'll all be out on the street.
Catherine, all we have to do is get on the stand. Just think of Mr. Roeder's face when the judges rule for us.
They didn't have no vanilla, so I got some chocolate.
Took you long enough.
Don't get on me. I had 6 people stopping on the way here. All of them reporters, and all of them asking after you.
Wait for you to die.
No one's waiting for you to die.
It's true. One of those reporters called my mother, asking if I had died. When she said no, he sounded disappointed.
Evening, girls. How about a picture?
For the love of Mike, what are you doing?
We're taking pictures for the graphics exclusive.
What exclusive?
$5,000 sound good to you? Perhaps you're familiar with Dinar McFadden.
Who, that fake healer?
Herbalist, Mr. Kreider.
Norm McFadden, patented herbal therapy. Still something to get the girls back on their feet? We graphically pay for it. All we ask is the exclusive rights to their story from here on out.
Grace, this serious.
You want to pay us $5,000 to see Bernard McFadden?
Easy money, huh?
Let me see that. Graphic owns this business only up and up.
Grace, what does your father own the house again?
I don't know exactly.
And at last possible bill, a couple hundred at least.
At least.
And all we do is talk to this herbalist fella.
But we'll have to get our money's worth. A series of features with pictures following the course of your illness, treatment, recovery, or otherwise.
And you print whatever you want.
Maybe we add some color. Everybody adds color.
Not interested.
Grace, I'd take it if it came for the company.
The company owes us a lot more than that.
If we ever end up seeing it.
Look, Grace, you're gonna talk to them reporters anyhow. Why not get something out of it?
He's right, you know. You girls can cash in big on this. Anybody can sympathize with some poor girl facing certain death with no hope of fulfillment in motherhood.
I'd like you to go now. My friend needs to rest.
Grace, at least think about it.
I understand. You're scared about what people will say. But hey, look out for number one. That's the way. Watch you trying to nose when everybody else is up to their elbows in it.
Number of the girls who claimed they got sick here. One of them, the girl's jaw rotted so bad I just looked at the bone out of her mouth.
Oh, that's all right, Dr. Neck. You can put that away.
Maybe you'd rather look at it on the next one. You believe me? Expensive cases to treat. You forget the compensation.
I sympathize, Dr. Neff, but what does that have to do with us? Would you think about curing them?
Why would these girls come to you?
Dr. Neff, we cannot do business with you. Whatever proposal you want to make, it would be immoral, and we want no part of it.
Moral? You're fine when you're talking about morals. Got your own hired gun ready to testify?
Those are expert witnesses.
Paid lackeys is more like.
Good day, Dr. Neff. Mr. Lee will see you through the door.
All right. You won't play ball with me? Somebody else will. Believe me, there are plenty of others who will act.
Charlie, Dan, I wanted to make a statement on what happened this morning. We'll send them to the State Medical Society.
Then Neff will see who's playing ball and who isn't.
Maybe we shouldn't be so quick to shake this off.
What are you proposing?
Retain him as an expert.
Like Flynn.
Dan, Dr. Flynn is a highly respected professor from Columbia University, and Neff is a neighborhood dentist.
Flynn treated some of the girls.
No, he didn't treat them. He consulted with them.
He dispensed medical advice, Arthur.
It wasn't medical advice. It was a scientific opinion.
For which he was well paid. We do the same with Neff. It'll keep him quiet.
This is getting out of hand.
We can handle Neff.
Neff isn't the problem. It's Von Sachaki.
What about Von Sachaki?
He's gonna testify for the girls.
All right. Whatever Barry is paying him, we just offer more.
You don't understand guilt, do you, Charlie? Let me tell you something. A guilty man has a tremendous need to unburden himself. What Von Sachaki needs is to be free, so he will never testify for us, no matter what we offer.
Every penny I've put by in the last 7 years I've sunk into this company. Why? Because of you, Arthur.
We were fools, Charlie.
You said it was a sure thing. Why work for Von Sachaki when we could work for ourselves? Remember that one?
Charlie,
Von
please.
Sachaki fooled us all. All we can do now is put it back together the best we can.
Then you better pray this whole thing stops in civil court. Because if it comes down to criminal charges, don't count on me.
Criminal charges for what?
You didn't tally Drinker's report.
What about Drinker's report?
It's proprietary. You're under no obligation to share it.
We did share with the Department of Labor.
He sent what they needed to see, right, Arthur?
Arthur, my God.
Scientists, government men, they have no idea what it takes to run a business. Von Sachaki laughed at the very idea of a promotion, but look at us. We are the world's largest radium supplier, the largest in the world. Do you have any idea what it took for us to get here? Do you think I could stand idly by and let our good name be dragged through the mud?
But the Department of Labor,
No,
Arthur,
we just need
they're
more
gonna
time.
shut us down for
Just
this.
a little more time to set things straight.
You want time? Let's see what Mark has to say about this. It's new evidence, right? Surely he can do something with this.
Three months to study an x-ray? It's outrageous! How are we gonna hold out 3 more months? The girls could barely make it to court today. And Grace, what am I supposed to tell her? Go home, get some rest. That's the best I can do?
Maybe this will help. In the afternoon.
Captain Drinker. Any relation to Cecile Drinker?
She's his wife, and a respected industrial hygienist in her own right. She worked with him on his study.
Haven't we already seen this document?
We've only seen part of it. This is the complete report. Miss Drinker was particularly disturbed to read an article in the Ledger where Mr. Roeder states her study clears the company.
They doctored their report.
Roeder pulled out a single page listing the blood conditions of the healthiest employees and passed it off as the whole thing. Doesn't look so bad by itself, does it?
We can use this.
That should impress the judge.
Miss Wiley, I'm not going to wait 3 more months to make use of this. I say we call upon our friend at the New York World. If Roeder won't let us present our evidence in the courtroom, he can read about it in the newspaper.
Very bad.
You didn't read it?
Make it a point not to these days.
You know, at the club today, someone actually said to me, is it true? Did your husband poison those women? And I said, Mrs. Middleton, if you think that's true, why would you associate with me?
What do you want me to say, Diane? I knew we were poisoning people, but didn't want to stop because we're making too much money?
Is it true?
Is that what you think?
What would you like me to think?
God's sakes, Diane, can't you see it's Von Sachaki? He's using the Consumers League to railroad.
Why would the Consumers League?
Radical woman do-gooders. Half of them red, it's probably social. You're gonna quit that club.
Quit the club?
Stop talking to that idiot, Mrs. Middleton.
You're not making any sense.
None of these women know anything. You don't know anything.
Did you lie to the Department of Labor?
I have a fiduciary duty to the company.
You can't listen to this.
Diane, I have documents, articles, people with tumors the size of baseballs. Radium therapy, it makes them disappear.
I'm tired. I'm going upstairs.
You can't really think I'm a liar, Diane. You can't really think I would set out to hurt those people.
13 girls have died.
People die every day. Young, old, children younger than Harriet die every day.
But they worked for you!
They worked other places too. I have a report from Columbia University. Dr. Frederick Flint, an industrial hygienist just like Drinker, who says there is no connection between our plant and these illnesses.
Then what else could the cause be?
I don't know, Diane. I really don't know. But please, say you believe me. If you don't believe me, there's no point to anything.
Artie,
We saved lives.
you saved lives.
This is all for you. You know that, don't you? Everything I do, it always has been. Oh, please don't let that be another reporter.
Arthur!
That's Mr. Lee?
Charlie, for God's sakes.
I stopped the telephone with the ledger. It's dead. He's dead, Arthur.
What are you talking about?
We just saw him last week.
He died this morning.
But they were just here. Dan and Louise were just here.
They've already done the autopsy. A severe anemia. The ledger is running it on page 1.
They're blaming the radio.
I told the reporter we'd issue a statement at 8 o'clock.
Oh, poor Louise. We should go see her. We should go see her right now.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
She's planning to sue.
Louise?
She's filing a wrongful death action. Now, I worked up a statement for the paper. Dr. Daniel Lehman, company chemist for 8 years. Always in poor health, recently in decline.
But Dan was never sickly. He was always sailing or on the golf course or in their garden. They kept a beautiful garden.
Charlie, let's take care of this in the morning, shall we?
Of course. Sorry to bring you the bad news, Mrs. Berger.
Charlie can be a bit excessive at times.
You needn't explain.
But I have to say something. The shareholders will expect it.
We're going to get rid of this.
Diane,
With no more of it in the house.
I'm in too far to quit.
I really didn't expect you to.
I'll tell you what we should have done. We should have took that reporter up on her offer when we had the chance. That's what we should have done.
$5,000. Don't make me laugh.
We should have talked her up too, because I'll tell you what, they'd have paid. And I'll tell you what else we should have done.
Stop telling me what else we should have done.
All right, keep your shirt on.
What do you think? The red or the blue?
What's Sperry say? Is he going to talk to the company?
I like the red, but it's not fit so good these days.
Is Barry going to try and talk the company up a bit?
Miss Wiley says one more interview will do the job. So I say, what's one more, right? Might as well look good.
It's worth a try, don't you think? What if the company came up to 5,000? Would you take it then?
Let them come up. I'm not caving in.
It's called a settlement.
A settlement? Just another way for them to hide.
Let them hide.
Then they win.
So they win. They're going to win anyways.
You know what I found out today? They put lead screens in laboratories for technicians. Did they give us lead screens?
What are we doing here?
What do you think, 100 girls in a room and they're gonna spend that kind of money on us?
Grace?
Miss Wiley says they want to leave,
Grace?
move across the river.
What are we doing here? I thought the idea was you'd settle your debts, get a better doctor, and we get on with things.
Get on with things?
You're still wearing my ring, Grace.
Tommy.
Look, Grace, there's a house my brother's in. 2 rooms up, 2 down. Not much, but it's a start. You'll like it. It's already got flowered wallpaper, and best of all, it's only 3 blocks away from the school.
What do we need with the school?
Plan ahead for once.
Tommy, what did you think was gonna happen after all this? Everything would just go back to the way it was?
Why wouldn't it?
I have to see a surgeon.
Uh-huh.
I have fluid.
Okay,
and then it's
Grace,
like
we
something
deal with
happens.
it when it
Why
comes!
can't you see that? How can you talk about moving and together when you know there's nothing?
Grace, I just want for us to be together now. Right now. I want to come home to you at night. To my wife. My home. I'm too old to be living like this. This in-between life. Grace, come on. Grace,
Should have done this a long time ago.
you just need some rest, that's all.
Tommy, please don't make me say it.
You're not getting enough sleep.
Tommy!
I'll be back tomorrow. You get some sleep.
Tommy, please don't do this to me. Tommy!
February 21st, 1928, to Mr. Ravenberry and Dr. Harrison Martin, medical examiner, Essex County. We have examined the remains of the deceased Amelia Maggia. Our studies revealed the following radioactive substance have been found in large quantities of the lower jaw, upper jaw, lumbar vertebrae. No sign of syphilis was found.
Body is radioactive!
Exploded dead girl kicks off gamma rays.
Catherine Wiley of Consumer League declares new evidence showed company lied.
Dr. Joseph Neff, a Newark dentist who worked with Amelia, has recently turned over portions of her jawbone and removed from her mouth. This x-ray shows the jawbone is still radioactive. 5 years after the girl has died.
Will this make your case?
Will this force a settlement?
Make our case? No. This gentleman will make our case.
Last night, in a graphic exclusive,
Exclusive.
founder of the Radium Corporation breaks his long silence with a shocking announcement.
Radium is one of the most dangerous substances known to man.
Dr. Fonseschaki, is it true that you assisted with the autopsy?
Yeah, and given my expertise in radium extraction, I was able to determine Miss Maggie had absorbed enough radium to kill 10 people.
What does this say about mild radium therapy?
Radium is responsible for the death of these poor girls and should be considered the most dangerous substance.
Do you agree with the doctor's prognosis that the radium girls only have a year to live?
From what I've seen, they'll be lucky to last that long.
Grace, honey, wake up. It's almost 4 o'clock. Mom, Mr. Markley will be here any minute.
Did Miss Wiley come by?
Miss Wiley?
She said she was gonna come by. They took Catherine to the hospital last night. If she dies, it's over.
Grace, honey, I'll tell you what. Once we pay back the doctor and the coal man and the bank, there'll be plenty of money left over to help you and Tom get started.
Nothing to start, Mom.
Why do you have to be so hard on Tom? He just can't bear the thought of you not being with us.
I have to bear it. Why can't he?
Do something with your hair, Grace.
$255,000. What would you do with $255,000, Miss Fryer? Why can't I imagine? Mom, you didn't tell me we had mail. They just keep writing, don't they? She was here. Mom, Miss Wiley was here. She left a note.
Miss Fryer, Edward Markley.
Mom said you brought some papers.
Yes, terms filled out. $5,000 to you. I've got a check right here. All we need is your signature.
This is a confidential settlement.
That's right. Grace, Mr. Markley's a very busy man.
Mr. Markley, what's contributory negligence?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Contributory negligence. That's what you said in court. Means it's our fault, don't it?
Mr. Markley, if you'll just leave the papers.
If you could just answer the question.
Why are you doing this?
Why didn't you tell me Miss Wiley was here?
She'd only try to talk you out of it.
What did she say about Catherine?
Mr. Markley, if you'll just leave the papers.
What did she say about
She
Catherine?
said it don't look good. Maybe I should come back later.
No, Mr. Markley, you didn't answer my question. And I would really like an answer, because let me tell you, at your factory, they told us what to do and how to do it. I didn't cause any trouble. I wasn't raised that way. How do you get contributory negligence out of that?
We deeply regret your situation, Miss Fryer, but there's no evidence to tie your condition to any action by U.S. Radium Corporation.
Then why are you giving me this money?
It's a humanitarian gesture.
A humanitarian gesture? Week after week you put us off, knowing how sick, how tired we were? Humanitarian, you've been waiting for us to die.
This is a very generous offer, and I advise you take it, or we will be forced to withdraw it permanently.
You're just trying to bully me.
Very well then. See you in court.
Yes, you will see me. You drag me in there feet first.
You call that man back.
I'm going to court.
What good will it do ya?
Ma, I want those people to look at me and explain how it's my fault I got sick working in their factory.
You know you can't win.
I don't care. Ma, all my life I've done what other people told me to do. Never once I said I can't finish school. Never once I said I didn't like the taste of the paint, even though I knew. Every night I'd see my dress on the closet door, all aglow. My shoes, my hairbrush, so much light. And I never once questioned him. They knew I wouldn't. That's what they were counting on.
I left messages with your housekeeper. I know you got the messages.
As we were no longer in business together, I thought it was best not to respond.
What this is about? Getting revenge?
Revenge?
Losing our company, losing business, now you're getting us back for it by spreading lies about us?
Perhaps got the feel, got me on nerves.
You never told us the paint was dangerous. You never said a word about it. Not to me, not to Dan.
I didn't know.
You didn't know. You invented the paint and you didn't know. How can you lie like that?
I didn't know until it was too late, Arthur.
I was not the technical man. You were the technical man.
Yeah, I was the technical man.
I sold watches. I was a salesman.
Yes, and a very good one at that. A very good head for the business, but not a very good head for the science. You were an amazing businessman. You always knew how to cut the costs without damaging the quality. Just have some tea.
What's the matter with your hands? You've been dipping them in ink?
Dipping them in ink. How fond of the pretty story you are. No. Cells, they're dying. It's necrosis. With the dial painters, it starts in your jaw. Me, in my hands.
I had no idea.
It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
How long?
The necrosis, a couple of months, but I've known for a while. Miss Wiley from the Consumers League asked me to assist Dr. Martin in conducting a few tests. I didn't want to believe her, Arthur. I didn't. I didn't want to believe that the girls could be getting hurt from using my paint. I accepted because I wanted to prove to her that it was a mistake. But when we conducted the expired dare tests on the girls, my own breath registered radioactive. That's how I knew.
I'm sorry.
You should see Dr. Martin.
Me? What for?
You never noticed your shoes glowing at night?
How could I not? I tracked it all over the house.
You can rest assured that now a lot of that is in your lungs.
Is this our promotional piece?
Yes, and a very good one at that. How many new sales did that account for?
I didn't track it exactly. I like to think it helped our medical market quite a bit.
Well, go to page 96, the last chapter.
The last chapter. Radium. Dangerous effects.
Dangerous effects. And how many articles does it have there?
About 18 it looks like.
And how far back do those articles go?
1906.
Yes, 1906. And how do you plan to testify that you didn't know radium was dangerous?
I never really read it.
How's that?
I never really read it. I hired a man to put it together, but I didn't put it together. I never really read the book.
What do you mean you never read it?
It was a standard arrangement. Outside companies, they were responsible for the content.
Which you never planned to read?
I think you will find, Mr. Barry, that very few company presidents actually read their own promotional pieces word for word.
And it had your name on it. You authorized the book's release. You had final approval of the content, yet you never claimed to read it?
Mr. Lee was responsible for promotional efforts at the time. I entrusted those activities to him.
Okay, Mr. Ritter. You said you started at the U.S. Radium Corporation in 1918,
Yes, as plant manager.
and you held this position for how long?
4 years.
In those 4 years, how many times did you venture into the studio?
Every day.
Every day, so you must have seen a girl put her brush to her mouth.
I don't recall.
You're saying you went to the studio every day and you never saw a single girl put her brush to her
I
mouth?
said I don't recall it.
No more questions.
You witness, Mr. Markley. We have no questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Gentlemen, please approach. I'm ready to issue my ruling.
Your Honor, we have yet to present our defense.
I realize that, Mr. Markley, but this proceeding is to determine standing. I've heard enough these past few days to make this determination. The radium in the bones of these girls is an ongoing source of poison in their systems. Nothing your witnesses can say will change that fact. In the interest of justice, I'm asking that your defense rest without calling any witnesses. We can conclude this hearing today and schedule this case for trial.
All right, Your Honor.
Fine. I therefore rule the statute of limitations has not been exhausted, and these girls have standing to sue.
Your Honor, one thing. I have a very full schedule with 2 other cases pending, and a key witness will not be available until the end of the summer. We can't be available until September.
Your Honor!
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but our chief expert witness is associated with an institution of higher learning. This is the busiest time of year for him, and I cannot expect him to appear.
Mr. Markley is responsible for that situation. He's the one who requested continuous delays.
Your Honor, surely you will not force us to make our defense at trial without the presence of our key witness.
All right, Mr. Markley. Trial is set for September. This hearing is adjourned.
Edward? Why can't he come here?
He's going to Europe.
Europe? But he's known about this for months. Why would he? Oh, very clever, Edward. How long do you plan to keep this up?
As long as necessary.
That girl is still staring at me. How do I make her understand? I never wanted any of this to happen.
You don't. You don't make her understand. You don't talk to her.
She looks like death.
They all look like death.
Grace.
That man, Miss Wiley, he wouldn't even look at me.
Doesn't matter, Grace. He heard you.
How many were there?
Hundreds worked for us, but dozens died.
And they won their case?
Never got to trial. We settled. Made big headlines. $10,000 for each girl. Medical bills for life. Which wasn't all that long for some of them. To where she sat. One of the fastest girls on the floor. In the courtroom that day, I caught her looking at me with so much anger in her eyes.
Oh, Papa.
I looked away, but on the steps outside the courtroom, I had the chance to say something.
What did you say?
I couldn't speak.
He was afraid to speak.
I had my chance and I couldn't speak.
That man was afraid of me.
How could I explain to her? I had responsibilities to my investors.
It's not your fault. Nobody thought about things like that then. Science just wasn't as advanced. The way it is now.
I think back on those days, coming up the steps to this room, chalky like an old schoolroom, and all those girls, schoolgirls, really bent to the task. No man could work the way those girls did, so careful, so fast. Their hands moved from the dials to the paint, to the dials, to their lips. Try as I might, Harriet, try as I might. I cannot remember their faces. I never saw their faces.